welcome back. It's My World 67. It's G-Man. And what you're looking at here is the bottom of the American Flyer pre-war lumber car. I'm getting ready to put the journals back on, and as you can see, they have been repainted. They are done. I've mounted the lumber load back on. I've got all the tie downs back on. Was having a problem with the tie downs on this one, but got that straightened out. Got them all back on. This car's really turned out nice. I think for the most part we managed to save the decals. And they just really look good. I really like the way the lumber loads came out. And we did that by spraying a clear acrylic on them. Now I still haven't put a brake wheel on here yet. I haven't yet found the one I wanted to use on here. I've got some old tires and wheels, metal and rubber, and so I was going to put one on, and if I can't find them I might have to use a washer. But I've got a whole box full of old tires and wheels. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to mount this journals. We're going to mount the journals back on. Sorry, I got a little distracted for a minute. Going to mount the journals on. Move these over to this side. Now, you've seen me mount the journals on the other car, so I'm not going to take a lot of time today with the mounting of the journals. We're going to start them and do a couple of them. Let's see. We're going to start with the bottom ones first. Make a little more sense. Real simple. Just put them in, fold them back over. And that's why when you remove them, you only open up the bottom tab. So when you go to put them back in, the top tab is already set, and it's a simple process. Okay, we got that side done. Let's start on this other side. We're going to advance the tape and let you see the video and let you see these when both cars are finished, or at least the completion of the second car. Okay, we're putting the last two journals on the second car. Okay, there you go. Alright, now for the wheels. Now I've got all these wheels cleaned. They've been sprayed down with penetrating oil. They're nickel slick, so to speak. So they're really ready to roll. Spread these frames apart a little bit to get the axles out. And sometimes you have to they've got so much spring. Sometimes you really got to spread them to put them back in. I like that one. Still looks like it's got a little rust around there. Probably just didn't wipe out. Most of the rust, actually, after we got them soaked and put them in the baking soda and water solution and took them out. And soaked them, just rinsed them real good with some clear, warm water. For the most part, all I had to do is just wipe them off. That's better. And they were clean. Now there were some that I did actually had to do a little extra cleaning on because they were so dirty. And there they are. Now, if you remember, one of these was actually missing one axle and a wheel. And so we added the extra axle and the extra pair of wheels for it. That's the shorter axle. I had the one axle that was a little shorter than the other. What I'm going to do is go ahead real quickly, change that axle out. Well, I was going to say I was going to change it out with a Marx axle, but the Marx axle is actually the same length. So, we'll just leave it. And we'll adjust our frame accordingly. It looks like I've already got it. Sometimes too, it's just that the frame is, like I was saying earlier, the frames get a little less tension on them because you have to pull them apart some to take the axles out. This is the replacement axle. require us to put a little more tension. On this side of the frame. There we go. Now that doesn't change the gauge of the wheels any at all. When you have to do that, it's just not even hardly a measurable amount in the length of the axle, the shortness of that axle versus the other one. Just a tiny, teeny little bit, maybe a silly millimeter, maybe. Maybe not even a full millimeter. But it's just enough to make a difference. So you have to adjust the frame, as I did, or find a longer axle. And right this minute, we don't have a longer axle. The Marx axles are the same length. The American Flyer used oversized axles, and they were bigger around, and they were a little longer than your average axle. Now, I have seen Lionel axles that look exact to the American Flyer axle, width and length for the pre-war. But Marx kind of did their own thing completely. All right, so there we are. The final saga in the American Flyer freight set. All of the freight cars now are complete. And we will do one more video showing the completed set all together. And hopefully we'll be able to do, if nothing else, a short run with that train as a set. Also, I finally got in the front truck for that Hiawatha engine. This is the original front truck. Got the frame, the wheels, and the screws. Great deal. Very hard to find. Nobody remanufactures these at present. So they do remanufacture the wheels, and these are reproduction wheels for it in a brand new axle. But the frame itself is the original frame. Looks a lot like the Marx frame, except it's a little heavier and a little bit larger. But it's the same principle. I actually thought about using a Marx on there to make it work. But I could have with some changes. But yeah, I'm so glad, really glad to have found the original truck. Now, everything I've read on that particular engine, the 1936, that used this particular front truck, said that they weren't the best trackers in the world, which meant that they had derailing problems for some reason or another, and that's why they went to the four-wheel truck in 37. And that's pretty much everything that's been redone by both Lionel and by Mike's Train House has had the four-wheel truck on the front added. And I thought about adding a four-wheel truck to that, and I might later on. But I wanted to do it as original as I could for now. And hopefully we'll be able to run it like that for the entirety of my life anyway. But there it is. And I have another one of these out on the shelf that I've had for several years. Part of another freight set. Which I was missing the gondola for, and the hopper. And so now I have the equivalent of enough. I still don't have the gondola, I still don't have the hopper, but I've got the milk car. I've got the equivalent of enough that I can make actually another set, or I can add a third car, the lumber car, to this, or swap them out. But the original set, this is the original set as it came, as it was cataloged, just what you saw, just what we repaired and refurbished. And I think it's just really a great deal to have it. All right, I'm not going to take any more of your time with this project. This project, as of right now, is done. Like I said in the previous video, done and done. And we will bring it back again as a full unit. And I'll have that front truck on. And we'll have this brake wheel replaced. And we'll probably be using, we'll show it both ways, one with the original red caboose and the other with the redone Hiawatha caboose that I made up, the Milwaukee caboose. Alright, that's all I have for you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber and you enjoy this video and this channel, please subscribe. As always, happy rails until we meet again.